Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here at Amy Parker Art. I'm so excited to hang out with my friend Brianna, and she's one of my accountability buddies. We hang out quite a bit, and we just thought we'd pop on here and talk to you a little bit about business, creative business. And Brianna has something amazing that she just came up with, and it is very interesting. I'm not going to ruin the surprise. I'll let her talk about it a little bit, but it's something very different that I have never seen before. And I really think it's a brilliant idea. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about that, Brianna?
Certainly. First of all, thank you so much for having me. It's great chatting with you. And I know we chat every single week, but it's really cool to come on here and talk art instead of just the business side. So this is fun for me
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
So this idea came from the fact that my husband and I love to travel, as you can tell from the map behind us. And we actually have a travel business that we chat about on a regular basis. But this year I decided to start something new. As part of our traveling, we love our kitties very, very much, and we absolutely hate leaving them behind whenever we go to travel. And so, I wanted some way to bring a piece of them with us while we travel. And so, I had the brilliant idea to brush the fur of my cats, have the fur spun into yarn, and then crochet these little mini doppelgangers of my kitties that we now travel all around the world with. And these have been around for several years, ever since we started traveling full time back in 2019. But just new this year, I decided to kind of take this idea and use it as an opportunity to kind of relax my type A brain a little bit through the act of crocheting and take that same pattern and create all of these other little kitties. And so now I crochet all of these fun little kitties of all sorts of different shapes and sizes, and colors and patterns. Fun little one for Memorial Day coming up soon here. And I just have fun with this. It's the same basic pattern that I'm putting all of these different designs on top of to make these fun little kitties. But the thing that I'm really, really excited about is goes back to the original idea of these kitties, and that is making memorial kitties for people who have either lost their kitties or have a senior kitty who might not be around for much longer, that they can brush their fur and send it to me, and I can make little kitty doppelgangers as a memorial for their kitties. Now, I know not everybody has the fur, so I can also do like this one, which is kind of in progress. It's still not quite stuffed yet, but a little doppelganger made out of regular yarn. But then I'm going to put the ashes in this particular one, because the gal that commissioned this doesn't have the fur, so that's another option as well. And I'm really excited about that because people love their cats. If they're anything like me, I'm obsessed with my cats, and I want them to be able to have something to remember them by, aside from the traditional urn or just photographs and that sort of thing for their cats. So that's kind of
Yeah.
how that all came to be.
Yeah, that is so awesome. Let me ask you this, and if you all have questions, you go ahead and just put it in the chat. We'll answer for you. I'm sure Brianna would be happy to do that. Um, so like I was saying, I really love this idea because it is so unique. And the fact that I have recently become a cat lover, you know, so if you all follow me, you know that the universe brought me two stray cats that have become my own, plus I have a senior kitty as well. Um so anyway, I won't go into that whole long story right now, but I do have a question for you, Brianna. I'm not sure, I can't remember if I've already asked you this or not, but I think it's so amazing that you literally can use someone's kitty's actual fur
Mm-hmm.
to crochet. So how do you get the fur into the yarn, or how do you make the yarn with it? Is it a secret? Is it a secret you can't release, or how does that
Not at all.
happen?
Not at all. It's the same principle as it's the same way that you make any yarn. You just spin it with a spinner, and it's the same as you would do with wool or alpaca or any other fiber. It's the same kind of thing. Now, with some short hair cats, obviously you have to work in some wool because it's not quite long enough and it won't necessarily stick all that well. And you don't want the yarn just like disintegrating, and so that's sometimes applied, but for the most part, it's entirely fur. And if you've ever had cat's fur that mats, it's that same concept. It really sticks together and it holds together. Um, Now, I will be honest with you, I don't do the actual spinning because that's not my area of expertise. But there are lots of people on Etsy and in my local area and that sort of thing. And it's a way for me to also support other local small businesses for people who are much more skilled at that particular area than I am. My expertise is in the actual crocheting, but I have those connections so I can get your fur actually spun into the yarn and then use that for these kitties.
Yeah, yeah, so cool. I love the fact that you support other creative businesses as well
Mhm.
to get the yarn, spun that way. I recently, and I'm not going to say because it's a surprise, um, but I did order something on Etsy yesterday for one of my friends, and I don't want to ruin the surprise, so I'm not going to say. But I like to do that too. I like to go to Etsy, or if I'm going to
Mhm.
purchase a painting, of course, me, that's my specialty, painting. But I will just go to my own membership and order something
Of
from one of
course.
my current members. But yeah, I think it's so important that we support each other
Mhm.
um, in our business ventures. And
Mhm.
I'm just so, I love so much to empower artists to take action really on their dreams, because nothing's going to happen if
Absolutely.
we don't make it happen. But I love your story on these very cool kitty creations, because it was just like, I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I mean, I know you pretty well. So it was just kind of like an accident, but I mean, you were doing it for yourself, right? Because you're carrying
Yeah.
your kitties around, and I see their pictures at all these amazing places that you and Aaron go.
Mhm.
But then, somehow you just started, like, you got that idea, like maybe other people would like that too. And I think sometimes in business, when we get stuck on, like, geez, what should I make and create or sell or
Mhm.
whatever, I think a lot of those ideas literally can come from, like, self introspection, or just kind of think of what you're
Mhm.
doing now and what inspires you. So I think, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that's kind of how the kitties started. You started selling them, right?
Pretty much. So again, I'm a type A and I need ways to calm myself down that aren't just scrolling social media and getting all those dopamine hits and whatever else. I wanted something kind of repetitive, something I could do while I'm watching Netflix, something that was very relaxing for me. And I get such a thrill out of creating these little kitties, and each one that I see is like, oh my goodness, you're so adorable and you're different, and it's something unique and everything else. So I
Yeah.
really love that process as well. So I did see this question and I wanted to address it for the memorial kitties, for kitties about this size, which they are they fit in my palm, so they're about that big. Generally, about a quart size Ziploc bag stuffed with fur. It depends on how many colors you're dealing with. Obviously, a single color is much easier, and that's just a single bag. For something like Mochi here, my little tuxedo kitty, the white was really difficult to get. If you've ever tried to brush a cat's belly, that's very difficult. But the black was super easy. So I had plenty of the black, but the white was a bit harder to come by. The nice thing is, even if I don't have enough of the cat fur, I can have them supplement more of the wool in whatever color. In this case, I did have to supplement a bit with the white wool here, just so I would have enough to make that tuxedo pattern. So
Yeah.
even if people only have like a clipping from when they passed and they want to incorporate that into the kitty, then I can certainly make that happen. It would just be more on the wool side or the acrylic for the yarn, depending on what colors I'm using for that.
Yeah. That was a great question, Francis.
Yes.
That's my cousin. He is an amazing artist as well. Um, and he lives in Florida. I was going to try and meet up with him for when we had gone to Melbourne, but that didn't happen. But
Mm.
hopefully someday we'll be able to hang out. He said thanks. Yeah. Um, yeah, thought it would be much. Yeah, I had that question too when she first
Mhm.
was telling all of us about it. I'm like, whoa, that must take a lot of fur. But that, yeah, that is so neat. Um, so I know that you've done like a in-person show already, right? You've done an
Yeah.
event and you have like more events coming up. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So I decided to kind of check out one of the local craft shows, and there was something that was advertised locally as kind of more of a flea market thing, but it didn't cost anything for me to set up a table there, so it was a good way for me to get my feet wet. What I didn't know is I'd get my feet literally wet because it was completely raining the entire weekend, and we didn't it was outdoors and the ground was completely muddy, and I had some decent shelter from some pine boughs above me, but I'm brand new to this, so I didn't have a tent. I didn't have any kind of official setup or anything like that. If you see on my page, I posted some pictures, and it's like I had like 2 picnic umbrellas, and that was my coverage. And meanwhile, we all had like the hoodies, and we're all hunkered down trying to shelter ourselves from all the rain and everything else. But it was still a really successful event, despite all the rain and despite the limited traffic that we had of people coming out there. I still sold 5 kitties and made
Yeah,
about $150. So that was really
that's
amazing.
amazing.
And so I'm contracting with the same group of people for Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully it'll be drier. And I'm actually inviting my sister to come join me and help run the booth with me. And now I actually have a tent.
Yeah.
So I'm moving up, and she's going to come down. She's an artist as well. She does mostly acrylic paints, and does some amazing like she starts with this abstract acrylic pour, and then we'll work in realistic elements. So
Oh, wow.
it looks kind of like a wave, so she'll incorporate a sea turtle, or it looks like somebody's dress, so she's got like this silhouette of a woman there dancing. It's this really amazing thing that she uses this. What are those like ink blot tests or whatever? Like, hey, it
Oh,
looks like
right.
this.
Yeah.
And so it starts with that, and then she'll actually say, okay, I think it looks like this, so I'm going to solidify that
Yeah.
into this interpretation, and this is what I see. And so she's a
Yeah.
really brilliant artist, and so I'm excited to be co-hosting, if you will, this booth at our next event for that as well. So she's going to do a whole bunch of acrylic pours because those are quick and easy for her to do. And then I think she's going to keep with the kitty theme and do like different cat silhouettes and stuff as the realism part to her acrylic pour. So I'm really excited to see how that turns out. And I really hope she sells some of her paintings because she's really good and
Yeah.
isn't necessarily as much outgoing as I am to put myself out there and say, "Hey, buy my stuff."
Yeah.
So I think that'll be a good opportunity for her as well. So I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
it.
we need to ask for the sale. I think that, well, first of all, you're going to be drier, even if it rains, because now you
Yes,
have a tent.
I'm hoping.
And Brianna's bringing up a good point too. Hello. Um, Brianna's bringing up a good point too, like especially for in person. If you're doing an in-person show, art show, craft show, whatever the case may be, and there is a vendor fee, because well, usually there will be.
Mhm.
It's pretty neat to go in and collaborate with someone like that, and that's so cool that your sister's very creative as well. My sister's creative also. My sister Beth, the one that loves cats. She's allergic to cats, but she has
Oh.
so many cats that she takes care of. It's amazing. So good job, Beth. But yeah, I wanted to like point that out that if you're going to do an in-person show, and you don't have a lot of money to start up or whatever, just ask a friend or
Mhm.
someone that that's creative that might want to go in halvesies with you on a booth like that. I've done that numerous times in the past years ago when I used to sell in person. But
Mhm.
as most of you know, if you follow me, I have sold my paintings consistently online for 3 years in a row, using online, and because I just wanted to paint in the comfort of my own home art studio, which I did, and it was amazing. I loved to be able to pay my mortgage and my bills just being home and shipping out my pieces all over the country. So that's why I created my membership to help artists do the same thing, show them all the different multitude of ways that you literally can make money online as an artist. And so many people do have a mental block too, like, oh, I think I need a lot of money to start a business. You guys, I literally started my online business with $0, and I I teach inside of Creative Warriors how to build a business organically,
Mhm.
um, without even spending money on ads. So, yeah. So I don't want to get off like on a long rabbit hole with that, but you most certainly can jump on the wait list for Creative Warriors if you haven't done that yet. It is in the description because we will be open in May. Um, let's see.
I
Let's
did
see.
want to jump in just real quick and
Yeah,
say if you are doing like an in-person event, an art show, you can take a look at even flea markets because they may have lower vendor fees. In this case, mine was free. So that's a great place. And I just posted in my local Facebook group saying, hey, does anybody know about any craft shows or any kind of thing that's happening nearby anytime soon? And use your local community to really network and see what,
yeah,
because people know all sorts of things and they were
yeah,
listing them left and right and like great that then I could check them out and see what would be good for me and my business. But then the other major concern that I had was that I didn't have much inventory because it takes me about 4 hours to make one of these kitties, one of the basic kitties. If it's a more complicated design, it takes a little more time. And so at the time I only had about 15 kitties that I could potentially sell. And I didn't want to, sell them all in the first day and then have no inventory or anything to even show on the next day.
yeah,
So I prepared myself with basically an online order form and labeled certain kitties that I was low in, saying pre order only. And so I didn't actually get any pre-orders, and I managed just fine with the low inventory that I had. But I also found another way to augment my inventory. I printed out beautiful pictures because I'm also a photographer, go figure, and had all of these pictures from our worldly travels of cats all around the world. And so I had like 50 some odd prints that were also on the table that I could sell to help augment my inventory. So it's not just, hey, I only have these 5 cats to sell. It was more than that. So don't feel like you necessarily have to have a whole lot because I really didn't. And especially if you're partnering with somebody else, that helps kind of alleviate some of that stress of how much inventory you really need to have on hand.
yeah,
But it is, I'll say I definitely feel more comfortable now that I have maybe like 20 some odd cats, and I will definitely have more by the end of May. And I'm focused on the simplest ones just so I can get more out there.
yeah,
And instead of going broad with all of the different designs, I'm going deep with more of the same designs so that I have that
yeah.
available. And
That's a really
then
good point.
that, some umbrellas, a table, I printed off some really super basic signs and square. So I could take online or
Yeah,
credit cards, and
yeah.
it's free to start a square and everything else. It's super easy. So Don't let any of those things become hurdles for you and think, "Oh, I can't go do an in-person show because I don't have enough inventory or because I don't know how to take credit cards or because I don't know where to find these events or anything like that." If I could do it, you can totally do it.
Yeah, I used to use the Square as well years ago when I did the in-person shows. Of course, I haven't done in person in so long. I've just been online, so I use my PayPal
Mhm.
for that. There's so many systems that you all could use. I mean, you don't even have to use the ones we're talking about, but those are
No.
popular ones.
Well, what I like
Um,
about Square is they'll actually send you a reader completely free of charge.
yeah,
So it's free
exactly.
to set up your account. It's free to get the little reader that plugs straight into your phone. You can set up all of your little inventory items on their app. You push little buttons and swipe a card, and you're done. You
Yeah.
know, so and they take their fees on the transactions itself, and it's even lower than Stripe. I was surprised to find. So
Oh, what's the
it's
percentage? Do you know?
it was
Remember?
something like 1.5 or
Oh,
2% per transaction plus like 25 cents or something like that.
yeah,
So it's really not bad. And Stripe was like 3.5% or something like that. So
yeah.
it was a noticeable difference.
Wow, that's cool. That's good to know. Good to know. Um, Anybody have questions? Let us know if you have questions for Brianna. Brianna, why don't you first off, I don't want to forget to have you tell everyone, because I know this is a new the crochet kitty thing is a new thing for you.
Mhm,
But I know that you started a Facebook page, and did you
mhm.
tell me that you started an Instagram for it too, or?
I basically used the same Instagram that I already had. So I had an Instagram account for these kitties and all of their worldly travels. So I
Yeah.
basically adopted that Instagram account for this and I
Oh,
rebranded it.
that's great. Yeah,
So
that's a
there's
nice
already
win because
some content there and hey, if you like seeing fun worldly kitty shenanigans, then that's definitely the place to be.
so what's the name of the Instagram that everyone can find you at for that, for the
So
kitties?
the business is Kitten Kazoidal. It's like Kitten Caboodle, but kitten, as in like little tiny cats, and it has Zoe in there, which was the name of my last kitty, who lived to be about 15. So
Oh,
it's not. I maybe should have chosen a different name because it's a little hard to understand how to spell it by simply saying it.
can you
But
spell it for us? Can so if
yeah,
they want to.
so Kitten, kitten, and then kazoidal, Kazoedle.
Okay, that's cute. I like that. Very cute. So you can find her there. Oh, there you go. You already got
There we go.
stuff printed. You got your sign printed and everything. You're amazing. Everybody take a screenshot.
Oops.
And you can
Actually, I
find
can.
her on IG or right here on Facebook.
There we go. That actually has the little logo.
I love the logo. You're so good at that. My friend Brianna, I mean, this lady's techie. She's so amazing.
This was just Canva, which seriously is completely free as well. So I hate spending money, so I'm really good at finding free things, free
Yep.
ways to do things. So this was just Canva, and I just made you should see all the little tiny bits and pieces of things to make this. This is like a little yarn ball with the crochet hook, and
Yeah.
it's a cat. And anyway, so I've got that whole thing, and then I just printed it out, and my mom's got a laminator, and so I just laminated it, and boom, I've got a sign.
Yeah.
So
I
it
love
does
that.
not have to be fancy. You don't have to spend a whole bunch of money on all of this stuff. It can be
Yeah.
super basic.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Um, I just had a brain cramp because my cat's actually over. I don't know if you can see Kirby. Where are you? Where'd he go? Oh, he just jumped down as I moved it.
Poof.
Well, trust me, I do have two cats in here, but he's making a liar out of me. He gave me a brain cramp because I could hear him scratching over here, and I turned around. He's sitting on my printer, and then I moved the camera, and he was gone. So anyway, that's that. Um, so if anyone has any questions, go ahead and let us know. we will come back and check
Mhm.
the comments on here, because I know a lot of you see this on the recording after, which is fine. I leave all my recordings right here on the page on Amy Parker Art, so you can come back and find them. I really, really appreciate spending time with you today, Brianna. I know
Absolutely.
you have a very busy schedule. You're a very busy businesswoman, as well as I am. It's
It's okay for this
amazing
type A to
to,
take a break every so often.
yeah, it's amazing to do that, to take a break and just connect, with
Mhm.
um,
Now, I
like-minded
did want to.
people.
I wanted to touch on one other thing. I wanted to
Yeah,
mention something that's important to me as part of this business. Our little Mochi, we adopted her from a local shelter in town called Cat Adoption Team, CAT. And so one of my founding principles, I guess, was I wanted to make sure that I incorporated giving back to my community into I almost said membership, into my business right from the get go. And so I do donate 10% of all of my proceeds to Cat Adoption Team because it's a local cat shelter and they do great work as a no kill shelter and adopting all of these cats and making sure they're all spayed and neutered to control unwanted cat populations and make sure that they're healthy and see their best forever homes. And they also
yeah.
supply the kitties for our local cat cafe, Purringtons. And so it's this whole network of making sure cats find their best homes. And so I really want to support them as well. And so that was something that I incorporated into my business from day one. Even though I'm not making much, 10% of everything that all of my profits goes directly to that cat shelter as well. So it's this whole
I
nice little ecosystem of
love that.
kitties.
I love that. Love that. And that is such a good point, Brianna, to kind of just throw out there in the world to all of us, um, to give back. I've
Mhm.
done some donations myself. I usually donate every year to a couple different auctions, for, the things that I really connect with, right?
Mhm.
And I think that's so good to be able to give back like that. And I know you said, you're not making much right now, but this is a new venture for you. Like literally, it just came out of your brain, your imagination, and you just started doing it, and you're already finding success with that.
Mhm.
Um, and it is such, one of the big reasons, well, I love you, but one of the big reasons why I wanted you on is because it is just such a very cool and unique item, creative item that, I mean, I've never seen before. It's not like I've seen
Mhm.
everything in the world either. I mean, who knows? Maybe there's something out there. But I love how you did that, and you were very innovative, and yeah, use your brain and your imagination and what you already were doing and just did a spin on that. So I have other interviews with my friend Brianna as well that you can find here on the page and YouTube. Brianna is an amazing photographer. She sells her pieces on Etsy. She and her husband Aaron have a travel business, and they do have a course on that, as well. If there's anything else that you want to say or throw in, go for it. But I just think that you are very amazing. You're
Aw,
super
thank you.
smart. And I think it's all important for us, to hang out with like-minded people, really.
Mhm.
And like in my Creative Warriors membership, they all love each other. They're connected. They help each other out, and I really
I'm in
enjoy
your Creative
that.
Warriors membership. It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. So thank you all for hanging out and hanging out with Bria and I today. Hopefully, we have inspired you, with her story. And if you want to check her out, then go ahead and find her on Instagram or right here on Facebook, or go ahead and ask in the comments. Like I said, we'll keep an eye and come back and check periodically for the next couple days, see what's happening.
Mhm.
Thank you, Brianna, for spending time with me today.
Thank you so much. This has been great.
Coffee break. All right. Okay, so real quickly, I do have in the once again, I do have in the description, if you want to jump on the Creative Warriors wait list, I will show you how to start your own online business. My specialty is acrylic painting. And yeah, you can go get on that wait list because we'll be opening in May. Anyway, Brianna, thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate your time and I'll see you soon. Bye,
All right. Thanks so
everyone.
much.